I've tested a wide range of sanders on this channel, from cordless to corded, from budget to mid-range, to all the way up to some very high-end sanders. And at each price point, there is a difference in what you're getting, and you need to know before you buy. Before we get started, if you'd like to check out any of the sanders or accessories that I show today, I'm going to link those in the description, the pinned comment, and of course my TV viewers can scan the QR code with their phone, take you right to my website so you can check these out as well. Most people think you can slap a sheet of sandpaper on any random orbit sander and you're going to get the same results. You're not. The difference between what's on the left side of your screen all the way to the right side of your screen is absolutely difference in finish quality, dust collection, vibration, and how your hand feels after an hour of sanding. There is a massive difference. How do you know if you've got a good sander, no matter what price point you're at? Well, there's a few things we look at to measure the quality of the sander. We're going to be looking at dust collection, vibration, heat, pad spin, and power, which matters, and the finish quality, of course. And one thing to keep in mind, just because a sander is budget friendly does not mean it is a bad sander or that it's not going to get you the result you're looking for. But you will notice a difference as we start stepping up. Now let's talk about one of the best budget sanders I have ever tested, and that is the Hercules cordless sander. Now I was not a fan of the Hercules corded sander when I tested that against 14 of the other sanders under $100. But the cordless sander is on another level. The vibration is acceptable. There is a little bit of vibration here with this sander, which means after an hour of sanding, your hand will feel tingly and numb, but it's not excessive. In other words, if you're just doing 15, 20-minute jobs, you'll probably be okay. The dust collection is solid, as well as the power that this sander has. When I ranked this on other cordless sanders, it ranked up there as far as how it performed and everything that we're measuring with some of the big dogs in this category, including Festool and others. Didn't quite reach their level, but it was very close. But I know most people look for a corded sander when they first start out. I've been recommended this DeWALT corded sander for years because it was one of the first sanders that I bought. The first sander I bought was a Hyper Tough from Walmart. It was about $25. It lasted about 2 days. The second sander I bought was the DeWALT. Now this sander comes in right around $99 at the time of this filming, and it has variable speed and a lot of good things going for it. This has a 5-inch sanding pad, which will matter when we start talking about that later. And then of course, dust collection is fairly solid. You're gonna notice vibration on this sander, as you will with most sanders under $100. When you see me set this glass of water, this is my vibration test. I like to set glasses of water up there to see how much vibration there. It's there. You're gonna notice this after an hour of sanding. It's one of the things I noticed when I moved up to a different sander later in my years. I used this for years. And then when I got a different sander, I realized how much vibration there was in these sanders. Your hand's just tingling and they're numb after you sanded for a long time. That goes away when you start stepping up. But for a budget sander under $100, this one's very difficult to beat. The heat buildup is not excessive, and heat is the enemy of sanding or most things in woodworking. You'll notice on the bottom of the sander it gets very hot, or if your sander's getting very hot, the dust will cake up on the sandpaper, causing you to get bad finishes, and it just overall doesn't do well for the tool, for the life of the tool, if it's getting hot all the time. Now a lot of that can be alleviated if you're using dust collection with a shop vac or dust extractor, which we'll talk about, but overall most people are going to be using these with a bag. You'll start noticing a little bit of heat build up there in the bottom. Now, if you want to save about $20 or $30 and you don't really care about variable speed, there is an identical model to this called the Craftsman. It's made in Mexico, just like this DeWALT sander is. They look identical other than the color and the lack of the variable speed, and you'll save a little bit of money if you're on a strict budget. That's my pick for best sander under $100. If you don't care about variable speed. If you want variable speed, the DeWALT's the way to go. So depending on how much woodworking you're doing depends on if you need to upgrade from something like this. Because when you start moving up, I'm fixing to show you how much difference there really is between this and some of the more higher tier sanders, even the ones that are just above this. There is a big difference. All right, let's move up the ladder here and start seeing the benefits of what you're getting. Next on the list, the Makita, probably one of the most genius sanders I have ever used. This thing is pretty cool because this is a cordless sander, but they offloaded the weight of the battery onto a cord. Some people think it's dumb, but I think you're wrong. If you haven't used it, you're wrong. It is genius when you start looking at other sanders like the Milwaukee M18 with that big old beefy battery on there. It just makes a big difference when you offload that weight. If you don't have all that weight pushing down on your project, so you're getting a better finish. And overall, it's just better balanced. It just works much better. This is one of the best sanders you can buy. The vibration is low here. The dust collection is really good. and you're getting a 6-inch sanding pad, and that's what's going to make a massive difference. If you don't know, a 6-inch sanding pad has over 40% more sanding surface than a 5-inch, which is going to cut down on your sanding time, which if you don't like sanding, this is a huge bonus. And for $269 bare tool, it's a really good option and one of the lower price high-end sanders that I've used. Next on the list, we're going to come into a first Festool. This is the Festool ETS 125 REQ. This thing retails at about $299. If you're looking for a Festool deal, you're out of luck. They don't put things on sale. But this is a really nice finish sander. It has a very low stroke rate. The vibration is a little bit there. Like, you can still feel vibration in the sander, but it's way, way less than something like the DeWALT. You got really good dust collection, which Festool is known for. And overall, because of how it's kind of a stacked design, everything is really in line. So you're getting really good even pressure when you're sanding. Overall, one of the better sanders under $300 that you can buy if you're looking for a corded sander. And if you don't know, Festool does make several sanders and the cords all interchange, or at least these do, so that's pretty cool as well. So if I have multiple sanders, I can just swap these cords out, so I could have, if I want to just keep the finish sander with a high grit like 320, and I have my 6-inch sander with maybe a 120 or 220, I can just move the cord without swapping pads, if that's too much trouble. It does give a much lower stroke rate here versus this 5mm. Next on the list, probably one of, not probably, the smoothest sander I have ever used in my life. Out of over 30 that I've tested, the Milwaukee M12 2.5mm. In other words, it's very close to this Festool sander, the 125, in stroke rate, which means it's not really orbiting it a lot. Like, it's just a minor amount that it's actually given the random orbit to. Gives a really fine finish. So if you're doing veneers or finishes, you'd want the 2.5. But for normal woodworking, you would want a 5mm. It's a little bit more aggressive in the fact that it's just removing more material faster. So I like the 5mm. The 5mm Milwaukee is very smooth as well, but that 2.5mm is insanely smooth. It's like a calm lake. If you see there on the water there, it's just a really good sander overall, and it's 6-inch. The only downside here is the 5mm stroke, the 5mm one, the battery life here is like 15 minutes-ish. The 2.5mm you can get almost 30 minutes out of. So if you're sanding a lot, these probably are not the sanders for you. But for small, quick projects, these work really well. And if you get a bigger battery, say the XC50s or even higher, you're gonna get a little more battery life, obviously, but just know battery life is a concern here, where it's not so much with some of the other cordless sanders that I tested, and I did do a whole video on best cordless sanders you can buy. As far as dust collection goes, they have a really good dust collection. They have a pretty cool little weird looking adapter that comes off the side. It's good because it gets out away from that battery, but the dust collection here, you're not gonna have any issues with dust using the proper extractor. When you graduate up past that $300 mark, if you're having trouble with vibration, or vibration really bothers your hands, if you have arthritis or anything like that, you're gonna start seeing a very significant difference in how your hands feel after a lengthy sanding session. Like these very smooth Milwaukee M12s and even some of these higher grade ones, it just doesn't vibrate your hand. And over time, it starts to hurt pretty good if you have issues with your hand. So if you're looking for smoother vibration, then the higher tier is gonna be for you. If you're looking at Festool and you're like, which Festool sander I buy? There's a bunch of them out there. This is the one I would recommend. This is the Festool ETS 150/5 EQ. 5 meaning 5mm stroke. It's also indicated on the top. You'll see the 5 there. This is what I would pick for woodworking, sanding tabletops, cutting boards, like wood projects. If you're doing finer finishes, or you just want a sander for a final finish pass, icing on the cake type thing, then you'll get the /3 versus /5. And if I'm recommending Festool sanders, people ask me which Festool sander should I buy, this is it. This is a variable speed 6-inch pad. It also is very ergonomic, and the vibration is quite low. Dust collection, probably second to none as far as dust collection goes. With sanders, Festool is known for that. Heat buildup is very minimal here as well, and the overall low profile design keeps your hand really close to your work. It's just a really good sander. It is very expensive at about $550. Now, if you have the budget for this, this is one of the better ones on the list, but can it compete with the Mirka? We're gonna find out. But overall, if you're looking for low vibration, dust collection, you want a Festool, this is the one I would tell you to go for. As far as cordless sanders go, I'll leave this one right here because it is my favorite sander that I own. mainly because of that rake light. Overall, as a cordless sander, it's just extremely convenient. I could just leave it there, throw some dust collection on it and go. Why do you use dust collection if on a cordless sander? Because I want to. You do you, but it's just very convenient to have. 6-inch pad, vibrations low, battery life is pretty good on these things as well. And the battery is also Bluetooth capable. In other words, you can connect it to your app. I know, an app, sander. But what it does is give you some pretty cool data as far as how many hours you have on your sander total, what the heat buildup is, all kinds of really cool telemetry, and it also tracks where your sander was last used. So if you're monitoring tools for a job site, that could be handy as well. But all of that aside, this is one of the best sanders I have ever used, that I've ever bought. Festool's never sponsored me, never given me a tool, never given me $1. I just like their sanders. They work really well. Dust extractors too. But this one, because of that rake light, you can see every imperfection and get rid of it before you put finish on. If you've ever had those pigtails show up in your finish, like when you're putting stain on, you know how frustrating that is. All you do is see that imperfection. This is gonna let you see all of that. All the grain patterns, everything that you need because of this rake light, and it's very bright, and you can adjust that setting as well in the app or even on the top here. It's just a really good sander, but it's also very pricey. Because this sander, if you don't already have Festool batteries, you got to get the kit. Batteries, charger, it does come with a sustainer, plus a sander, a few accessories, $739. So it's probably the most expensive sander on this entire table, but cordless sander, probably one of the best I've ever used. But that doesn't mean everybody needs it and or even wants it. So that's important too. And battery life, about 30 minutes. It's pretty standard with most cordless sanders and not awfully bad. You have 2 batteries if you buy the kit, so you can keep one charging, have it be ready to go because it won't take 30 minutes to charge it up. It'll be ready to rock whenever you drain the battery on this one and just keep swapping them out. So not bad. The Mirka D-Rose, one of the most famous sanders out there other than Festool. Can it take down Festool? Maybe. We're going to find out. It does come with a sustainer. Some people care, some people don't. I do like having these available just because. It also has a cord that does come off of there, and then it does come with some extra sandpaper and accessories and things like that. Now, as you start going up in price, you get a few more features, obviously, on these sanders, like better dust collection, vibration, all that stuff. One of the main reasons you're getting better dust collection and just overall heat dissipation is because on a lot of these higher end sanders, you're going to see a bunch more holes on the bottom. It's just a bigger surface area, but it has a lot more holes there to pull air through all the way across the disc versus something like the DeWALT that just has those holes around the center there, or around the kind of middle ways around that circle there. And you'll notice the difference in dust collection as well as heat buildup on all of these because of that increased airflow. First power up on the Mirka. As far as heat buildup goes with the Mirka, it's very, very well managed. As you can see right through the vents on the side here, about 102-ish, I think is the highest reading I got, which is very normal. If you flip it over, one thing that I notice is the whole pad is in about the mid 70 degrees, except for right in the center. If you peel the sandpaper back, it's that very, very center right there, probably where this is bolted on, if I had to guess, or some type of metal right there, holding that heat a little bit more, but it's not significant. It's 100 and something degrees. You can literally put your finger on it and it doesn't burn. It just feels a little bit warm to the touch. About 107, I think it was, something like that. Overall, you could also see that there's not any buildup around the edge of this pad or around the pad at all. So it's doing its job as far as dust collection goes, heat buildup, heat management, sanding about 10 minutes solid without stopping with dust collection. There's very little heat buildup. I also grabbed the Festool for a minute or so and just sanded right beside with the Mirka. Imperceivable difference as far as vibration goes. I mean, they felt like I was using very similar or the same sander with a little different feel because the Festool does have the button up front. The Mirka does have that paddle switch, which some people like, some people do not, because if you turn it upside down, that could be a bonus because you can set these upside down and just kind of use this pad as a sander as well as it's spinning. But if you push the power button, you can turn it off and you can lay it wherever you want. As far as vibration goes with the water test on the Mirka, you can see almost no vibration. The only time you see those very tiny ripples, very fine looking ripples, is if I hit some type of grain that hadn't been quite sanded good enough yet. You would see a little bit of ripple and then it would go away. And when you see that ripple, you can feel a tiny bit of vibration in your hand. But again, as far as compared to some of the more budget friendly sanders, this is a huge upgrade as far as vibration goes. but it's also a huge upgrade in price. As far as which one's better, Festool or Mirka, flip a coin. They're both really good sanders. I don't know that you would notice any difference if you got one over the other. You would be happy with either one. One of the biggest upgrades you can make to any sander, no matter what budget level you're at, is a dust extractor. Now there is a difference between a shop vac and a dust extractor, which I'll explain. But what a dust extractor will do is couple of things. First, it's going to remove a lot of the heat buildup that you're seeing on your sander because there's a lot of airflow that gets pulled through the sander by the motor, through the pad. It also removes the debris that you're making as you go, so it's pulling that away and causing that friction to go way down. This is going to make your sander last longer. It's going to make your sandpaper last longer, which is very important. And it's going to give you a much better finish quality because it's removing all of that dust and debris and not just grinding it back into your project. If you look at the heat buildup on a sander used without dust extraction versus dust extraction, in my test, I've seen almost a 30-degree difference using a sander with a dust extractor versus not using it. It's reducing the heat significantly. And then there's the health side of it. When I first started woodworking, I didn't give 2 cents about the dust and debris that I was kicking up in the air. I just didn't think about it because I didn't worry about that. I was just trying to do projects and get stuff done. But the fact is, that dust that you create with a sander specifically is so fine. If you just sand for a little bit and you take your hand and just wipe on the board or even around the board, you're going to see all of that micro fine dust. That stuff gets in your lungs and it doesn't leave. You don't want that. You want to pull that all in before it leaves the source, and that's what a dust extractor does. And it does a couple of things. A dust extractor gives you HEPA filtration, which helps filter out all that harmful stuff. And you can adjust the airflow, which means you can dial up or down how much suction you're pulling. You don't want too much because it pulls the sander down onto the board and causes swirl marks. You don't want too little because you want to be able to collect the dust. And that's where a dust extractor shines. There's a few here I will recommend. If you're on a budget, Hercules dust extractor from Harbor Freight, fantastic value. This thing is incredible. I've been impressed with it since the day I got it. If you have a little bit more of a budget, check out the Milwaukee M18 dust extractor. I like it because you can do cordless or corded with it. If you do corded, you do get quite a bit more CFMs or suction on there. And then of course my favorite, Festool, the CT36, probably the best for most people. I have the 48 under my bench here, but the 36 I have at the miter station. It does a great job. These are all good choices for dust extractors, and there's several more on the market. DeWALT makes one, a few others. Whatever fits your bill, these are really good upgrades. Whatever sander you're using or that you decide to pick up from this video, please upgrade to some type of dust collection. Even if it's a shop vac for now, there are options available for you like this hose adapter kit that allows you to adapt your shop vac down to a sander. You're going to see a big difference from using some type of dust collection to not using it. No matter which sander you buy or whatever sander you already have, there's 3 things I think everybody could benefit having. It would just make sanding a lot easier and better. A, some type of work support. I have these bench nuts here from Carbon Method. They work really well. Nice high density foam. Keeps everything nice and grippy to your surface and the stock that you're working on. Or of course you can just get some Rockler bench cookies. They're also really nice. 2, some way to organize your sandpaper like this. This is just some type of organizer I bought on Amazon. I'll link to it below. It can hold 5-inch and 6-inch different compartments that you can move around. It's just a really good organizer that's lasted a very long time. It just works well. And it's not that expensive. Also, to be good quality sandpaper, no matter what kind you're buying, just get some good quality. I like the 3M Cubitron. It works well for me, but you do you. I'll link to what I like. But if you do edges and corners and you're trying to sand those, then the 3M doesn't last as long. It will last a very long time just sanding flat, but if you start hitting the edges of stuff, it kind of goes away. I like the Festool Granite. It's quite durable. And D, get some type of dust collection. No matter if it's a shop vac or a dust extractor or some type of hose adapter kit, just make sure you're collecting that dust because I don't want you breathing it because it's bad for you. And I want you to be around for a very long time. One thing I want to emphasize here, I'm not saying you have to buy a $700 sander to get good results. You absolutely do not. This DeWALT or the Craftsman or the Hercules that I showed will get those results. But what's not even close in 2026 is the performance of these sanders. I've used a DeWALT sander for years. I still grab this from time to time to use because it is such a good sander. So just because you don't spend a ton on the sander doesn't mean you're not going to get a good quality finish. What's not the same in 2026 is the fact that you're getting a lot better dust collection, a lot better heat dissipation to keep your sanding disc lasting longer, and the dust collection is massively better on these higher end sanders. So if you're doing a whole lot of sanding in your shop and you can budget one of these sanders on the higher end, you're going to see a big difference. If you can't budget it yet, keep using what you're using. and get the job done. Because really, at the end of the day, if you're having fun woodworking and the tools that you have work for you, just use them and be happy. I have to wonder, was this helpful to you in making a decision on what sander to buy? If it was, hit that thumbs up for me. I would greatly appreciate that. If you're not subscribed, that would also be helpful. But if you're wondering which corded sander or which cordless sander you should buy, I've tested all of them right there. If you go click the box, you'll go watch the video and you'll earn a virtual fist bump.